How you doing?
Good, bro.
Nice to meet you.
All right, right. What's good?
Good, good, good. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast. Got a very special guest today, producer Amadeus360, the Beat King. Is it the Beat King, or did you lose the Beat King? As I see
You know
two
what?
different names.
On my Instagram, it's still the B King. I mean, they asked me to shorten it because it was a little long. It was Billy Nance. They kind of was like, that's a dope name. You should keep it. But it's Amadeus360 mainly.
Oh, okay, cool. So we're gonna roll with that. Amadeus360, Brooklyn native, correct?
Absolutely not.
No, you live in Brooklyn. I shouldn't say
I
native.
do. I was for 30 years. Yeah, I'm there a long time.
I'll call you a native. I'll call you a native. For 30 years, you lived there. I'll call you a native. But I found it interesting because you said, looks like you moved from the South. You were Little Rock, Arkansas, and Dallas, Texas?
Yeah, mostly Dallas, yeah. So
Talk about, I don't hear many hip hoppers from Arkansas. Not much. I hear Texas, but what was Arkansas like? I gotta ask.
I mean, they have their own little thing. They're mostly regional there. They very similar to what you're hearing out of well, it's a few guys like Bankroll Freddie. It's quite a few. Actually, it's for some of these new trap artists, they're out of Arkansas. So Moneybagg Yo, he was raised there. But like it's mainly that Memphis sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
Mostly that Memphis sound they do, yeah. Because they're right there by Memphis.
Right. That makes sense. What about Dallas? What's that like?
Dallas got a more eclectic sound. They're not like Houston. Houston's got its own, Dallas is very eclectic. It's all over the place. You really don't even know how many people are from there. You think they're from somewhere else, like the DOC. He's born and raised in Dallas. Erykah Badu, it's a lot of people.
Now you didn't move from Dallas till you were 17 years old, correct? So you grew up listening to hip hop, pretty much learning about the culture and everything in Dallas, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It said that I was reading your bio and it said that you saw most of the Def Jam tours come through there.
Right.
Which ones did you see?
I went to the first one, that was the '87 Def Jam tour. Let me see, who was there? Beastie Boys. You know what? They even had people, now that I think of, that wouldn't even sign the Def Jam.
Well, who was on the tour?
I think Rakim was there, but I know it was LL, Beastie Boys. Man, this is 1987, bro. So
come on, dig.
It's a lot of and what's so crazy is like I've been to so many shows, like they're now blurring together. Because that same year I saw like I went to, let me think. Yeah, that same year was Dougie Fresh, Mo D, and Slick Rick. They all released their albums. They had a tour and they did it together. So they were all also that same year. I said, yeah, I said a lot of people. There's been so many people. I can't even, now they're blurring together. I can't tell who was with who. I've seen Heavy D and Pete Rock, and I can't tell what show which was that anymore.
Fair enough. You also mentioned meeting the Fat Boys, one of your earlier hip hop experiences.
Yeah, I was a kid, man. Yeah, I was a kid. Yeah, man. I'm back and forth with Cool Rod Ski all the time, too, and he's following me on the gram. Yeah, that was a big influence, huge influence back then. Yeah.
Talk about the Fat Boys a little bit, because they're kind of putting a parody thing of hip hop. Like it's kind of like because of the movie and everything, and kind of like it's kind of like.
I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, you have to be of a certain. Fat Boys was pretty much one of the first commercially successful groups. A lot of people don't, now back then it was kind of looked down on, but with the whole Disorderlies, the movies and but you have to understand something, that the Fat Boys were considered the streets. Like, you walked in any block, you know, at that time back in '84, and people were beatboxing and they were imitating these guys. I mean, they were definitely not nothing that like you were corny if you listen to the Fat Boys. That's impossible. I can promise you that. The streets was listening to them dudes because this was in an early inception of hip hop anyway, and people were taking risks and doing different things at that time. So, you know, 84, 85, 83, they were very experimental type of little periods. So the Fat Boys were a huge influence on a lot of people.
Agreed. Now, did Dallas have its own like hip hop sound like at that time? I mean, I know everything was kind of new, but was there any
I
particular
mean, not
sound?
really. I mean, they had like local groups, and you had a lot of rappers that actually came from New York that, you know, kind of like even in Atlanta with MC Jedi. He was actually from the Bronx, and he had a huge record in Atlanta in '87, '88. And you had a lot of artists that were coming south and blowing up and doing their thing down south. But no, Dallas, they never really formed a particular sound the same way that Memphis or the way Houston did. Houston,
Right.
you know, the chopped and screwed thing has been around for so long, I can't even, you know, remember. But me being here all these years, you know, I was mostly, you know, Preem is from, I see you wearing my brother's hat. I've got like 10 of them they gave me.
I got too many myself.
But you know, I got them from him. So you know, he's from Houston,
Yep.
born and raised. So, you know, we had that influence, and that's why our sounds are the way they are. You know, but yeah, Dallas has its own thing. It's just not what Houston can call theirs. You know, they do the whole chopped and screwed. We don't do that.
Right. Did you ever attempt to do a chopped and screwed beat?
I have several of them. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've done stuff. I mean, when it's chopped and screwed, it's all it is a record that is slowed down. That's what technically chopped and screwed would be. Now you do have elements like if you remember Paul Wall sitting in a Slim Thug,
Yep.
that whole, you know, sound, you know, riding on fofos, sitting on, you know, that whole, that's the chopped and screwed sound right there. But really, it's just a record being slowed down while you get high.
Really high to listen to that shit. I was thinking, I just lost my train of thought. Oh man, wow, that was a first. Chopped and screwed. Oh, you know what I was thinking of? Now they're doing sped up versions. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I don't like that.
I saw a Tone Loc Wild thing sped up. It was like I was like, oh Jesus, we're from slowed down to sped up now. I don't know if
I
that's
don't
gonna
get
catch.
it. Yeah, I don't understand it, and I'm not trying to.
I guess you got to be on stronger drugs, you know, that are more like amped up to listen to that,
Yeah,
and versus
I
the
don't
versus
even.
the versus
I
the
don't know.
lean. So anyways, you moved to New York, and it says that you Kid Capri was your mentor in the beginning, right?
Yeah, I got real tight with Kid for a while.
Talk about
We
that
still
relationship. How,
still
yeah,
talking.
talk
I
about that
mean, you know, I was
relationship.
introduced him some years ago by Nick Wiz to him, and I guess, you know, we formed a you know, like me being able to come to his studio all the time and just hang out with him, and you know, seeing what he did, you know, taking advice from him was a huge deal.
You know, he doesn't get much. I think people just think of him as a DJ.
They
People don't
do.
even realize that he did a lot of great production.
He did, and I guess he's a little frustrated. I saw how he like was trying to do that, you know, now, and he's got records, platinum and gold records all over his wall. It's too funny. He's done stuff for a lot of people, you know, Big L. But
Yeah.
yeah, Kid is he is a DJ. That is his
Right.
skill. And that's his strong point, and that's where he gets his bread and butter.
Talk
But
about his mixtapes back then, like how
I mean,
significant those were.
you know, growing up getting Kid Capri mixtapes was a big deal. You know, um, I don't know, man. That dude just had he had, that pulse on what was hot. Him and Ron G, they just had the pulse of what the streets was listening to. All of that, like any radio play stuff, when it came to a Kid Capri mixtape, you knew you were gonna either hear something that was new. You understand? Something that was new. It was real street. It was gully. It was gutter, and it was always a mixture of all kind of stuff. He was really the one that broke Wu-Tang, and somehow Bobbito got credit for that. And I called Kid out. I told him I didn't like that. And I even talked to you God. I talked to you God about like, yo, man, I seen that documentary, bro. And y'all ain't mentioned Kid Capri. Y'all know Kid broke that record. And he even admitted to me that was a mess up right there. Because Kid Capri broke Wu-Tang.
On what radio station at the time?
Whatever that show he had at the time. It's 1993, bro.
The years are getting blurry.
Yeah, it does, man. You're a little older, man. You start to be like, damn,
Oh, dude, I don't even have to go that far to get forgetful. What, in your opinion, makes Kid Capri such a great DJ? Curious your input.
You know what? Kid is like all of the rest of the, he comes from that era where you didn't have all of these toys to play with.
Right.
You had a mixer, some speakers, and a lot of times back in the day, black people had no money to buy them top-notch speakers. You was using stuff. You get an amplifier, a cheap mixer, and some turntables, and you get house speakers with them house speaker wires. That was what you were using. And
Yep.
Kid come from that era where you did everything by hand. Everything. And he just has his ear. He knows how to rock that crowd. None of them silly tricks that you see, like, the gimmicks and stuff. Yeah. That's the art of DJing is lost because those competitions now bring in really bizarre elements to the game that really didn't exist.
Right. Plus, he was just great on the mic too. Like his way he
Yeah,
could rock
well,
the party
and also
on the mic.
that hype thing that he does is his signature. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that mixed with everything is really what makes him one of the greatest. So when did you start making beats? When did you decide, like, I'm going to start making beats? This is what I'm going to do.
I mean, I'd always, I started back in the day, early 2000s. I gave the Brotherhood, a UK group, some stuff, and pretty much that, once I had a lot of friends in the game already, and I knew a lot of important people and famous people, but I was like more of a wannabe, hanging out. I was just happy to be standing next to Large Pro and Pete Rock and being able to pick their brains about stuff. And then, but when I really wanted to, like, I said, maybe I had something. People started really paying attention to me. But when I played a beat for Kid, and when Kid listened to the whole thing and he stopped it, lit his little blunt, and he was like, you came a long way really fast. I felt more confident, because, hanging out with him, he's like, nah, this ain't what you're supposed to be using for snares. You know what? And he was like, yo, sometimes, less is more. And I hit the ground running.
You did hit the groundwork running. Let's see here. You've worked with Cool G Rap, Busta Rhymes, Paul Wall, Sheek Luch, CL Smooth, Buckshot, Shaheem, M.O.P, Sticky Fingers, Master Ace, Razcast, and many more.
Yeah, the list too long. And I was with Pharoah Monk yesterday.
So what were the songs? Because I wasn't able to look them all up. What was the ones you did for Busta Rhymes?
Well, they were demo jump offs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they didn't see the light of day, unfortunately.
Nah, you know how that go. They were turned in through prayer. I have prayer. His artist.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Kind of another issue with that one.
Always issues in the game, right?
Yeah.
Talk about some of your highlight experiences and working with these people. What tracks are you like? Do you think are like some
I
memorable
mean, I'm gonna
experience?
always go. I always put Bill and Fame on in Teflon. I mean, M.O.P. is family. I love them niggas. So it's for me, it's just what it is. I mean, them dudes just burn up everything they touch. And anytime you get anything from them or you're there to watch their genius, you know, they got a new one with Preem out. I love it. Thorough Side.
I
And
heard that.
it's beautiful because like you know you have all these because I have stuff you hadn't even heard. So just sitting in a folder. And I mean, I had a lot of experiences, man. Sometimes it's just playing beats even for these guys and watching their faces light up. And some, like, you know, like I said, I was with Pharaoh Monk yesterday for 8 hours, you know, and, you know, you're going through all these beats for Pharaoh. And, you know, then he finally lit up. He was like, that's it right there. And
So,
it's
yeah,
always a great feeling, man. And recently we just got Tretch from Naughty
legend.
on a new one. And I'm real excited about that. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I've had so many. It's been so many. They are blurring together. I have to think because I was just like the other day. We just did a new Smith and Wesson track with Razcast and Fame showed up, you know, and the family was there, man. And you just watch the vibe out. It's amazing.
Are
And
you
you
in?
know,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no. So that's all. You know, just being in there with these guys and you know, watching the genius and why people love them the way they do, and then have knowing them on a personal level really adds to it.
Are you living in Brownsville?
No, I'm in Jersey. I moved to
Oh,
Jersey. Yeah.
see, see, he moved.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, what's your favorite M.O.P. album?
I mean, for me, it would probably be Firing Squad
That's tough to beat. It's a very tough one to
because
beat.
you know, I mean, I love the first one, but you know, to the death. But what it was for me is just Cream took that to a whole nother level. And it's interesting because I've been on stage with them. I have a lot of footage of me on stage with them, and they tend to also perform that one a lot. That one and um not Warriors, the other album. I mean, of course they do the couple off Warriors, you know, Annie Up and what's the other one, Cold as Ice and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love everything. I'm the biggest M.O.P. fan in the world, bro. I mean, to the point that I keep going back to him saying I'm not going to.
Who wins in a versus, M.O.P. or Mobb Deep?
Oh no, there's just no question. First off, don't get me wrong, man. Havoc, my brother, I love Havoc. You know, I was with him about a little over about a month and a half ago. I was at a shoot with him. Him, you know, the whole because Raz got one coming with Method Man, and it's Method Man, RJ Payne, produced by Havoc. You know, I was just an extra for the video. Ice-T is in the video. He was there. Um, Havoc is a beast. Mobb Deep beast. You can never underestimate. But let me tell you something. On a lyrical level, ain't nobody messing with Bill and Fame and Tef. Like he says on one of my records, I'm a big dog, you're a poodle. I turn the back of your wig piece into ramen noodles. Prodigy never said stuff like that. And I just heard one yesterday he did with Pharaoh Monk. And it's insane. One that Fame spit a verse on. And Billy, he's the blowout king. He just knows how to come. What he'll do is he'll listen to what Fame does and then most definitely try to outdo him. You know, you can see that friendly competition between those two. And Tef is in his own zone.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got new stuff coming out too. It's great. The style they have is completely original. Like you don't see
Nobody's like them.
No, I mean, it was just such an original style, like when it came out, and it's like, and to this day, I don't think anyone's even come close to it's you can't even mimic it because no one has that kind of intensity to kind of pull that shit off.
Yeah, they got two different personalities and look, one's real tall, the other one's short, one's in the middle, because I always put Tef. Tef is M.O.P. family. He's
Absolutely.
the third unofficial official member. There's no other way to say that. And them two guys, man, the way they come and the way they ride the beat and the way they're very good at making you visualize what they're saying. They're very good at that. And Fame paints these nutball pictures. It makes you wonder where their imaginations are.
Yeah, and Fame's really witty with the punchlines too. Sometimes, you know what I mean.
All the time, he says, "I mean, bro, I got so much stuff." This dude.
Yeah. I've promoted a few M.O.P. shows here in Boston at the Middle East. So I've seen it live. I've seen it a couple times. I've seen the first time I saw
where
it.
You are?
Yeah, I'm Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're going to talk a little bit about terminology in a few, but first time I saw M.O.P., they had band with them. It was right when they did that. What was that? Marksman EP. What was that? What was
that Marksman EP. Yeah.
So they were doing some rock stuff with that, and they came through there. I think they were still on Rockefeller at the time. And
they were doing the whole rock band thing when they would come out in the mosh pit and all of that.
Yeah. That shit was the first time I'd be seeing it. I was like, holy, this thing was crazy. And then I ended up promoting 2 M.O.P. shows afterwards where it wasn't with the band. And it was, for the Middle East nightclub, it was just a really intense show. And people just loved it. And it was just like, wow, this is just an amazing experience, these guys. So it's been an honor to work with them a few times. I also saw that you did you mentioned also the VSOP track, a tribute to Sean Price. You produced that? Is that the name of it?
Well, I mean, I'm tight with Bernadette. I was signed to Duck Down, so
oh, you were? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Rusty, Rockness, everybody, because at this point I've had them.
Yeah.
But so that I came to Bernadette with the ideal at a show and just said to her, because Sean Price was a bully. And and I saw some of the tributes to him, and they were tear jerkers, and I don't know, and it just was too funny because I when you know somebody, I remember this dude, how intimidating. He'd had his chew stick, this Muslim, he had his chew stick in his mouth all the time. And, and the way he talked to people, he tapped you, and his hand was real heavy. And he was so straightforward. Like, like he jacked Nick Wiz for a beat. Just told him flat, I ain't paying you for the beat. The way he was. So one day I said to Bernadette, I was talking to her, she seemed to be in a better mood. I tried to stay away from that whole, how that works. And I just said to her, I was like, I want to do this for Sean, but I need you to let me do what I know him as. I said, because Sean could be an asshole. And I started telling her some stuff, and she started laughing. And she said, just make the beat and send it to me. And if I like it, let's go. So we did that. And what I did is I flipped it, and I used the same sample that Pete Rock used. And then we sent it to Pete, and Pete responded, this is the illest flip of my stuff. And the next thing you know, we shooting a video for it. Me and Pete Rock riding around in the Maserati together. He co-signed it. The problem is I did such a good job. Everybody thought Pete Rock produced it, which was a weird backwards compliment. And, I was worried that people was going to be like, hey, Pete, this don't sound like something that Pete, this is kind of raggedy and not on time. Now I did my thing with it, and I put in a lot of stuff in the hook to give Sean that personality, that you a jackass was fucking with Pete, fam. I'm Sean Price, no game, no gimmick. Instead of all that sad stuff that I knew how he was. He's a bully. He was a beast. And, and he knew it, and he knew what his skill level was. So I did that, and then it was real successful, had a lot of people in the video. Tef was there. But it was an honor to be co-signed and sit there and have Pete Rock pass that torch, to you. This was his biggest hit. And I had the nerve to go after it. And then he's the one that says, hey, yo, you got it. Let's do this. Because he could have hid and been like, well, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But, Rusty's my man, Rockness and Boot Camp Cats, but I'm going to let you go. He didn't do that. He wanted to be seen with me.
Yeah. Well, good looks on that, man. And I've done a bunch of boot camp shows, a bunch of Sean Price shows. I met him. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you
Real
know how.
fun. He's a ball buster, and he's real funny too. But if you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know
we talk
him,
about your feet, your hair wasn't cut right, man. The man would let you have it.
see, we're from New England. We ball bust up here, so we're used to it. So I
Yeah,
was used
yeah,
to it. So we're like, it's a professional sport up here, ball busting. So someone like Sean Price fit in quite well. I want to talk about your collaborative projects. You've done a whole album with Termanology, and you've done a whole album with Ruste Juxx. Is there anybody else I'm missing?
I don't lie, man. It's odd.
I'm not gonna ask you. I'm not going too far.
Yeah, man. And you know what, man? Look, man. I was with Pharaoh Monk yesterday and Raz. I played like 100 beats for him. I didn't get much sleep, and then the night before I was out, then I was with Term and Pharaoh at a private birthday party with Static.
Uh-oh.
So,
the Hennessy is flowing. The Hennessy is flowing. Talk about working with Term, because he's a New England native. What attracted you to him, and how did that all happen?
Term, I had been around Term more times than I could ever. I knew him really, I knew his work well, but I never could figure out how to. I never really approached Term on nothing, right? And because I couldn't figure out where to go with him. Because, he had this whole like Mac Miller, I knew Static was with him. But then one day we were at this party, no, not party, it was Radio City Music Hall. And it was a huge thing, Lil Kim, Havoc, everybody was there, Ghostface, and you had the VIP, you had to get up on the elevator with a badge and security, they had Mary J. Blige was there, everybody. I'm on stage, Fat Joe, Remy Ma, all the Wu showed up. It was nuts, man. Buster, Buck Wild. And I started talking to Term because, we had just seen each other at like Mercury Lounge at a show. It was a lot of people at that one. Pete Rock, Cream, everybody just happened to be at this show. And then he said to me, yo, man, we bumping one of your joints on Static Selected Station right now. And he said, yo, let's work. And man, let me tell you, when I tell you that's the best thing, because he's already very tied in with like M.O.P. and other people I knew already. And I formed a relationship with this dude, man. I kill a motherfucker behind that dude. I love that nigga, man. Term, I'm telling you, we done been through, in a short amount of time, man, we did a lot of work. Till we done cried together. The dude is so loyal and about this music shit. And Static, that's a whole nother conversation. But when it come to him, man, we have a work vibe that I can't explain it, man. And Term is very diligent. He's
oh yeah.
I like his honesty. He play a little games here and there, you know how dudes do. He's used to getting what he wants, and he cracks me up because he'll act like he don't think I can see that he running game. But the dude is probably one of the best people I ever met in my life, man, besides, Bill and Fame and some of the other guys. And then, he introduced me to people. He had confidence that I could work with other artists that, so like, of course, I got Paul Wall, shit like that. We got CL Smooth. I did one, he's got Ed OG. Yeah, man, Term's amazing, bro. I'm gonna be seeing him soon again. We've got his sneaker out right now.
Yeah, hustler, man. You can't. It's funny you say that. You be seeing him everywhere in the beginning. It's the same with me. I couldn't escape him. I was like, I can't even escape terminology. He's
a
everywhere.
workaholic, and he worked for it though, man. He's been successful for a reason. You know, he didn't get what he got. Some people kind of grow up in them places where, you know, he's from Lawrence. And we have stay tuned because we got a new video. I just got it yesterday. And, you know, it's a tribute to him growing up there, man, and letting you see his boys supporting him. I wanted that for him, man. And it's a real dope video.
Yeah, I grew up not too far from Lawrence.
Okay.
I was about 15, about say 20 minutes from Lawrence, 20, 30 minutes from Lawrence. You also did the one with Ruste Juxx, the other collaborative album with Ruste Juxx. How'd that one happen?
Yeah, with Rusty. That was for Duck Down. James Brown of the Underground. Yeah.
James Brown of the Underground. I like that.
That's what he wanted to call it. I was like, cool.
Let's talk about this new album, the MPC Jedi. What was your inspiration with this one?
You know, I wanted to do some, I had the other ones where, you know, one was Rock Nation, the other one was Dug Down with ST Records, Rock Nation. That's what him and Static signed to. But I wanted to finally do something with myself. Initially, it was going to be me and Term on the second project. But the timing and, you know, I was going to be moving, I'm doing things. So, you know, I thought to myself, you know what, it's time for me to focus on myself, because I was talking to Fat Gary. And, you know, Fat Gary gave me, well, him and the King of Chill, Creepy Clown.
Stop me real quick.
Go ahead.
What exactly does the Creepy Clown King of Chill do? Because I know he's affiliated with Preem, but I wasn't sure what exactly his role is. What's his role?
Okay. So you're not aware who he is?
I don't know. The King of Chill, was he producer?
Let me let you know very surprising, man. First off, this dude here is the inspiration for what I do.
Okay.
If you go back and you listen to Light, first off, Paper Thin was chill.
He produced that?
Not only that, him and Daddy-O, top billing.
Okay.
Cha Cha Cha.
Now I feel like,
bro, you insulting me right now, bro. Come on, man. You a
I
hip
shouldn't
hop
ask
man?
this question. How did I not know this?
And that's Preem's sidekick. That's his partner.
How did I not know this one? You know, it's probably one of those things that got blurred.
He even says his name, bro. She says his name with like the MC and the King of Chill sound.
You know what threw me off was the whole Creepy Clown thing. That's what it was.
And that's what everybody call him. Even Marcus, Feral Marcus was talking about him yesterday.
If it was like, you know, because like, you know, years of producers and that music is a little before my time of getting into hip hop.
Okay, now I got it, bro. I wasn't sure. Okay, I got you, bro.
I got into hip hop.
Okay,
I got into hip hop. I got into hip hop, and
I do this because of him. Like when I heard Paper Thin, it's my imagination went crazy.
Yeah. I got into hip hop 91, 92. So 93, I started learning, you know, it's a lot.
Okay, I got you. This
I'm a little later than you. But the King of Chill, I should have looked it up, but the Creepy Clown, I was like, why would he call himself the Creepy Clown? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of focusing on the Creepy Clown name versus the King of Chill name. And then like when you just said it, it just came back to me. Okay, now it's ringing.
Bro, I did a dedication, man. Let me tell you, I did a dedication record to Chill, and we shot a video with Rusty and everything, and even had Chill in the video. That's how important what he means to me.
Absolutely. You learn stuff all the time. And I'm glad we had this conversation, because now I know. But anyways, talk to me more about this, since we got sidetracked here.
Okay, right. You got me with that chill
before you just sunned me on my own podcast, which, you know, I deserved it.
Hey, bro, it's all good, man. You explained it to me. It makes sense though. That everybody can. It just surprised me. Yeah. let's just
I
be
can't.
clear here. Chill is responsible for Light's success.
I can't know everything.
Okay.
I can't know everything.
But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to do some primo, P Rock, Premier's always done this. And I said, you know what, man, let me blow this out. Let me do this and put myself out there and make this about me. And that,
Right.
Fat Gary was like, what he did with Premier. He said, be seen in those videos, man. But he gave me the advice I needed. And then, hanging out with the King of Chill a couple of times, he's late. They gave me life altering advice. And, because like I said, I was going to do a second project with Term. And then things, unfortunately, his father was sick and passed away. It just was the timing, and there was no way I could wait. And I'm glad I didn't, because what I ended up doing would have been way beyond what me and Term would have done.
That's a tough transition, because it's like when you're making out, you're a producer, you're always working with artists, and it's kind of like always about them, right? Like it's about their track.
That is exactly what I ended up being behind with Rusty and
Right.
Term. It ended up being, I'm with Ghostface, and I'm
Right.
seeing Ghostface talking about how dope Sheik, the album I did with Sheik Luch, in the video, and I'm talking to Ghost. Ghost had no idea I produced it, and in the video, I make 2 small appearances in my own video.
Right.
You understand me? Because it ended up, everybody knows Term. Term's worked with the biggest and the best. Had beats, Jay Dilla, of course, Premier, Large Pro, you name it, he had it. And when it came to me being, even though it was Termanology Amadeus360, it was like I didn't exist. And he even would talk about me, they would ask about me, and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work, because you feeling, just because you might get a check or you want the accolades of at least people knowing this is your work.
Right. No, I hear you, man. And so often producers are put in the background, and all you get is the credit.
It's worse for video producers. I gotta give it. I would never want to be a videographer. Like, they don't even get thought of for doing the visuals. It's kind of sad, man.
You get the credit. Well, I think we're seeing an emergence of producers getting more in the forefront, or at least being acknowledged as an equal, which I've always said is an equal partner.
Well, actually, we were more acknowledged. Back in the day, this is how Preem got it. I mean, actually, you could name all of, I was just talking to Lord Finesse the other day. Like, man, this dude, like, these are the influences. And you knew verbatim all the producers. You knew them by name. You knew what Eric Sermon did. You knew what Preem did. You knew what Lord Finesse. You knew what what my brother AG did. You knew these things. Now, because of the genre, it's not the same. Only a handful of producers stand out. And Ninth Wonder is probably one of the last in this genre that's even, you got Just Blaze, all these cats like that. But like I say, they come from an older time period. You got acknowledged in the older days more than now. I can promise you that.
And some of those people you mentioned were their own artists putting out their own things, or they were in groups.
Correct.
So that gave them more attention in that.
Well, remember, Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
Gangstar, Guru, DJ Premier.
Right.
Lord Finesse is a rapper.
And then you branded. Yeah, remember, you had the whole gang. It was the Gangstar M.O.P coalition. It was both. You would hear Gangstar, you knew M.O.P was there.
Right.
That's why I always like to scream out Gangstar M.O.P for life.
I screamed that out myself. It's funny. I was jogging down the street one day, and someone was driving by playing First Family for Life M.O.P. And I scream at him. He's got his window up. I'm like, Gangstar M.O.P. Scream at him. He looked at me like I had 3 heads and sped off. He's like, this guy's crazy. Like, you have no idea how dedicated. You have the dedication involved.
But yeah, the album is what it is. It's just that man wanted to do some primo.
Yeah, making your own tracks. and you know, you got a lot of great MCs on there. And the MPC, let's talk about the I'm going to talk about the equipment. Have you always just used the MPC?
Well,
technology?
actually, I'm on machine, but MPCs are, if you know production, they basically are the basis. I mean,
Right.
of course, we go back to the whole, drum machine, and the 808 and the TI 808, but the MPC, the format of the MPC and the SP12, that SP 1200, it even operated differently. It was just different. The workflow on an SP is different. The MPC pretty much is the framework for every other machine that came, later.
Right. Right.
Because the workflow it's very similar. I switched over to Native Instruments quite a while ago. I'm on machine.
Yeah.
I use all machine. It's all here, machine stuff, all this stuff.
What is machine? That's
It's
just
Native
equipment?
Instruments. Machine that's what Knife uses. That's what Kid Capri uses. Yeah, it's Native Instruments. It's another brand, but they're extremely popular. Even a lot of the classes are teaching with machine. I like machine because of the update features, and it's very manual. Like if you're a very hands-on-y producer, like the MPC, well, this machine's products work very well because I do everything by hand. I don't cheat.
Did you ever use Logic?
No, I don't. That stuff is for that's like Pro Tools, making beats with a mouse and dragging and dropping hi-hats and nah. I'm cooking
No.
up. I'm cooking up.
You like the pads?
No. Yeah, I'm pads. No. I'm chopping drums up. I'm filtering. I'm EQing. Nah. I don't believe in that, buddy. I hate that when I see somebody made a whole beat by dragging. And like what kills me is I had a kid showing me like how he samples. I mean, he's taking a sample and then like he's just basically like shading it and then he truncates it and it's nothing. Dude, like I take a sample, I play it, I listen to it, I say, I like that part. I may time stretch it, reverse it, and then I sit there and I play it an entire new tune. And the kids now, they're buying sample packages where they give you the entire drum kit, the sample, and then they tell you to go put it together. It's literally like a puzzle.
Interesting. How would you describe your production sound, like your beats? How would you describe an Amadeus 360?
I mean, some people say it's got like a Southern feel to it, but it's most people they usually compare me to Preem and Pete all the time. I get that, but then I've had several interviews where people say they can't define what I do.
I feel like your sound's a little more rawer than those guys. Like you're a little more.
Yeah,
dusty.
I'm definitely more hardcore because I do prefer the Pete produces more, his production tends to be lighter as far as in nature, more feel goody. I like that straight, grimy. I would say more like early Black Moon.
Yeah. I hear that.
People D, yeah. He's
that.
my brother. Him and Walt are just my God. I used to send a chill down my spine, man, and being able to work with him is just, even being their presence for me was exciting. And but yeah, I do have a very gritty, raw, gritty, angry, sound. But most of my artists are like that. Like, what do you do with Sticky Fingers? What do I do? Make a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood beat with Sticky?
I was having this conversation about Sticky Fingers the other because we just did the Onyx show, that tour they were on with a Rugged Man. And I feel like Sticky doesn't get as much credit as like a standout rap MC. Like this dude has been on tracks with serious MCs, some of the biggest MCs in the game. He doesn't get outshined usually because his style is so obnoxious. Well, not obnoxious, but original and it's such an original style that I feel like he doesn't get the the respect he should get. You know
You
what I
mean
mean?
if you mean comparing him to like how we do the whole top greatest, you know?
I'm not
Yes,
even
I
saying
agree.
I don't like. I'm not even saying like best. It's just like this guy is just it's just
Well,
so
out of the
original.
two of them, it's everybody wants Sticky. You know, it's Sticky that's always been the most popular one out of them. It's like crazy because like he don't work with nobody. And Fredro does a lot of features. And you know, him and Term and Ras, they're like this. And but everybody keeps asking me, how the hell did you get Sticky fingers? I can't tell you. And even Term was like, I don't know. I was like, man, I got this, bro. Because the man invited me to his home in Hollywood. And we clicked. We clicked. And he is a great, great guy and an incredible animal on that mic. And I love Onyx. I'm a huge fan, always have been. But when it come to working with one of them, Sticky is that one.
Style.
His style is crazy.
It's crazy. It's just like that's the thing. In hip hop, it's to me, it's important just having that original style. I don't even care if you're the best rapper or not. It's just kind of like you have a unique sound that will make you stand out more than anything. You know what I mean? And Onyx was that, you know, and Sticky being the forefront of that. You know what I mean? That was just like, yo, they're dope. You can't mess with that. You just
You
can't,
were
you know?
you were at the Boston show.
Yeah.
You know what? I saw you.
Ah, we've met.
I did. You know, when I saw you pull up, I said, I swear I saw you there. Yeah, because I was there. I was right there with Turn. And then
Well,
I
there
went
was about
down to the
yeah, there
little
was
green room with Sticky and Fredro. Yeah. I was there. Yeah. I've sent RA a whole bunch of beats. I'm supposed to cook up something else for him too. You
well, there
know,
was
he's
about
very picky.
I probably would have saw you, but there was about 80 people backstage at that show, so it was tough to tough to make out who was.
They had security right there. They only let certain people down in that little room anyway. It was tiny.
Yeah. That's where I did all. That's where I worked for 17 years, right in that room,
Oh,
right out
really?
of that
You worked
club.
at that place? Okay. Yeah, RA
Yeah.
said he performed there a lot of time. But now Term was there. Term was there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because he brought Fredro some sneakers. Because we shot our video. Actually, we shot our video that day. I came up to Boston to shoot the video in Lawrence.
Well, that's why you were there.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
And then, of course, Sticky and Fredro being in town, we had to come to that.
Yeah.
You know, because I went to the Versus with him. I was there at Versus with him too in LA with Cypress Hill.
Yeah. That Versus I get that got botched, didn't it? Like what happened? There was a lot of
Man, it was
controversy.
horrible, man. It was horrible, man. I mean, this is Los Angeles, man. And you know LA like I do. I had no idea how that was gonna go well because first off, Cypress Hill are LA staples.
Yeah,
and they got the Mexicans and all of that. It was just I don't know. I mean, they got a pretty good response. I'm not gonna lie, I saw a lot of but man, you could just see that West Coast, they came out full force to Cypress Hill, man. And then it wasn't promoted. It was weird. It was at a boxing show.
And they started, that was when they made the transition to charge people for it. So it wasn't a free thing anymore. I believe they were charging for it. So I think like the ones prior.
Well, they charged for the Kane one, the one with Kane, and that was charged.
Online?
Oh, well, okay. I don't know. I guess
that's
what I was there. I was there. So I'm sorry.
No, they were free online.
People. Yeah,
they were free online. I think they were free online.
I wouldn't watch it online. I mean, the dudes on stage, I got music with.
Yeah, well, I can't live. We all live in New York.
I'm just saying.
In terms, we can't all just get up there. I think it was COVID still was kind of lingering around at that time.
You know, you saw Master Ace and Craig came out right there with Kane, and I did a Zoom meeting with Kane. I'm hoping because then I'll have all of them. He's only my last one.
Yeah, I never did a Kane show. I've done many KRS-One show. I never did a Kane show. Who do you think won that one?
That, you know, that's not one of those, you know, with that, that's not one of those, it's always a draw. It's KRS-One and Kane. There is no That's not like the 3-6 Mafia thing. That's completely in Bone Thugs. I get what that was about, but not that. That's Kane and Chris, bro. I mean, you're talking about two iconic MCs. They're on equal level. Nobody even talks like that about those two.
Yeah, you can't even compare. I don't think you can compare the styles. I think the styles are too different.
Two different styles. Both of their deliveries impeccable. Both of their lyrics is there's no way anybody would. I mean, if you say that, you're saying that because you got a preference. But if you're unbiased and you know hip hop, you don't say, "Oh, yeah, KRS-One." Yeah, no.
I mean, it's tough for me because I think KRS-One is like one of the greatest hip hop performers.
Well, he is one of the greatest. This is fact.
So it's like I've seen him. I've seen a lot of them, man. I tell you right now.
And so is Kane. And so is Kane.
Right.
And so is Kane. I come from that era, bro. And man, being a wide-eyed kid, man, are you kidding me, man? Seeing it, man, Kane is the truth.
Yeah, I mean, he's just he don't miss a breath. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, you know what I mean? Like I had never really seen him live that many times until then. I've seen clips.
Yeah,
I've seen him do the whole drop. I've seen him drop the whole mic thing and pick it up, but I've seen him the whole way through. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's different now because
he's not screaming. That's the thing, is he's not screaming. Like these rappers get up there and scream. I mean, even KRS, but it's like he don't fucking
that's Chris
scream.
Style, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's also
and that's why it works.
Style to yell like that, right? Just like Fame and Billy.
Yeah.
Everything they do is yelling. Come on. Everything they do. That's really the style that they have. It's really not that they're shouting, it's just their style. Like Prodigy didn't shout.
Monotone.
Very laid back rapper. Very laid back. Raz doesn't shout. A lot of my rappers don't shout. Sticky, he's angry and he shouts.
Right. So what else do we got on the horizon here?
I mean, right now I'm working this album, man. I'm signed to Soul Spasm. I signed a deal with them. They're I got my PR guy. I'm doing a lot, man. I'm always doing something. And then I like my underground cats like the Bank Eye family with Skanks the Rap Modern. That's my brother. I'm about to just lace him up because he is nasty. He's real tight with Rusty and all the Duck Down crew. All in boot camp click cats is his people too. So shout out to Skanks, man. But this album is, it's 18 tracks on it, man. I got Keith Murray, a Black Moon joint with Buckshot and Evil D on the scratch. Of course, Sticky, 3 M.O.P. joints, Master Ace, Craig G, Elder Sensei, Tragedy Gaddafi, my brother Tragedy, D Block from, Whispers from D Block. I got Tech. I tapped Tech for a track from Smith and Wesson. Album had a lot of people on it, man. I had to sit here and think. Of course, Nims, my brother Nims. Shout out to Nims, wearing his hat today. Old crazy Nims. I got that young cat, Lil D, with him on a couple of joints from Coney Island. He's real popular. I got a lot going. Like I say, I just got I got one with Tretch and Razcast, and we're waiting to see what the info on the video of that would be. Like I said, I was with Pharaoh Monk yesterday. I'm hoping I could get him on something. We're completing another one for Raz I'm doing with Tech and Steel with Smith and Wesson. Man, I'm gonna always be doing something, man. I talk back and forth with Project Pat.
Project Pat, huh? Way, you threw me off with that one. You named off all those guys, and then you're like, Project Pat. That's great. Yeah, I gotta hear that one.
So I'm a producer's producer, and I'm just, pushing the album, man. It's real dope. People seem to be just loving it, man. And got a lot of videos. We just put the single out, How the Block Sound. It's being passed around everywhere. People are really liking that one.
Yep.
And You know, I got the cat from the Boondocks that did a lot of the drawing for the cartoon, the Boondocks. He did the video for that. I got another video with Term and Rottenness. And believe it, my brother, I actually put my brother on the track, and we got a new cartoon video coming for that from a completely different separate artist. And then I already have a whole lot of other videos that's either out, dropping, more M.O.P. ones to come. Still World Famous is out with M.O.P. Got Tragedy. I have a lot of stuff, man. And it was so much stuff, even that the label couldn't. We chopped it in half. It was 33.
It's great, man. You're staying active. Talk about Soul Spasm, because I've seen that name go around. Is that a label or a distributor?
Yeah, the label.
Label.
They do label distribution. They got a lot of art. They've had a lot of, like, you know, a lot of artists, man, and you know, they're doing right by me right now, and they're really good. You know, they work with a lot of groups like this, like, you know, doing projects like this. Their specialty. You know, I had to think about going to too big of a label, because you end up lost in the shuffle. These people will sign you and you won't see the light of day.
Right.
And I was really kind of worried about that with a couple, especially the larger one, I don't want to say the name, out in California, you know, that was offering, they had an even more push. It just, you never know what's going to happen. You can't just get people on the phone either. You know, you dealing with Sony, Warner Brothers, and all. You know, it's not like you just call up somebody right away. Yeah, call somebody to get a hold of it. Yeah, so I just decided to go with this. You know, Craig and Elder Sensei felt it was a good way for me to go, because they have been successful themselves with me. And they're far more hands-on. And I could just imagine if I had gone with any other type of bigger label, what that would have done to me, you know, because they're very hands-on with me. I get the emails. Yeah.
Good communication.
Yeah, I mean, you look my name up at this point, you put Amadeus360 and Amadeus the B King, and I just have pages of things been written up on my work and covers, and, you know, I'm in Flood and Pitchfork, you know, a lot of stuff. Rock the Bells, Vibe. Yeah.
They got a good publicist over there. Is that the guy who hit me up? I forget his name. I should have remembered his name. Oh, what was it? Oh man, I want to feel bad. Andre Barnes. Shout out Andre Barnes.
Yeah, he does really good job. And I already had a lot of great write-ups on my previous albums, but, you know, this is about me now and not just one artist. You know, they play in the background. It's not you know, I'm making the soundtrack to what these guys are on.
Feel that. Well, man, it's been great chopping it up with you and meeting you and talking to you, and you know, much success in the future. Seems like you got a lot of things moving, man, and it's good to see you doing your thing, bro, and keeping
man. Too bad I didn't know who you were at the show, man. I said I know, and when you said that, I said that's the guy seen up by the door, because you know what it is. I thought I knew you.
Maybe you do.
Yeah, because you know.
Don't
you kind
blurry
of remind me of Dom Dirty, the producer Dom Dirty a little bit.
Yeah, shout out to him. I know Dom Dirty.
Yeah, so you know, and I said, I know that wasn't Dom Dirty, but I was like,
he's he's skinnier. He's skinnier than me.
Yeah, I just saw him there. He was just at this birthday party the other day with Static and Term. I saw him the other day. Yeah, Dom is real dope, man.
Yeah,
he ain't doing what I'm doing, though. He ain't doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna remind him of that. He ain't got my resume. He ain't got my resume.
Oh, so I guess it's still pretty competitive out there in New York.
Hey, it's got to be, brother. Like, when you're doing it, you're doing it. By the way, y'all go out there and make sure you check Determination album. Y'all go check my video with G-Rap, Let Your Glock Burst. Termanology, Cool G-Rap, Let Your Glock Burst.
I remember that one. I do a playlist too, with Leedz list. I try to put a bunch of your stuff on my playlist as well.
All right,
brother. Good to re-meet you. I guess we've met. So we're meeting again. we're unblurring it, and we'll be in touch, man. Good to see you.
All right, peace, brother. Appreciate it.